Hi, I'm Curtis Denomme, a first-year advertising student at Mohawk College. For our careers development class, we had to interview a person from the industry, and I chose a senior copywriter by the name of Jason Levine. He works at MacLaren's Advertising in Toronto. I chose to interview Jason because in our class we had guest speakers. Ian Martin was in, and we talked about art directing. So he got me leaning towards art direction, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about copywriting. I really learned a lot from this networking project, and I look forward to keeping in contact with Jason, and I really enjoyed talking to him. So if you're watching this video to learn more information about becoming a copywriter, or if you're my program coordinator and you're going to mark this, I hope you enjoy this video.
Let them know where you from. Rep it everywhere I go. Everybody from the cold. This is where we calling home.
So yeah, I was thinking about being an art director because I like doing all the Photoshop stuff, and it's something that I've really enjoyed doing. Like, after you make something and it looks really good, you just want to show it to people. So that's why I wanted to learn more about a writer, because maybe if I can write as well as I can do an art director, then I can just choose.
Yeah, it's good to know. It's good to know the disciplines.
Yeah.
I think when I got into advertising, the lines were very clear about, who's responsible for what. The art director is responsible for how the ad looks, and the copywriter is responsible for the words on the page. But I think what happens is when you get into a creative partnership with somebody, and that is how it's always worked, copywriter and art director together coming up with a concept, and it changes the dynamic. So sometimes I've been paired with art directors who are more conceptual, in the sense that they see the big picture, they get the big ideas, they aren't concerned with, okay, this really should be red or green. They're idea people, and then there's people who are more on the design side, who they're very interested in crafting a piece, whatever we're working on, whether it's a DM or a TV spot, to look a certain way and have a certain aesthetic, and they're very, very good at the fine details, right?
Where did you get your advertising diploma?
I went to the Humber School of Copywriting.
Did they have because I know Mohawk has a different streams, like the business and creative stream. Did Humber have that as well?
I think they actually do have that, but I went to Humber after I went to university.
Oh, okay.
So I took a honors degree in English and creative writing at York, and graduated there. And then I wasn't sure what to do. I was like, "Whoa, not much you can do with a poetry major, right? Good racket." So I had to gear off, and then I ended up at Humber. I think they do have an undergrad or a program similar to Mohawk, like a 3-year business creative side. But I'm not sure about that. But it's like a post-grad, so it's a 1 year. My responsibility as a copywriter can be writing the ad, but it's also a strategic focus. I have to figure out with our team, what are we trying to say and how are we going to say it, obviously. And then again, how, what is it going to sound like? Tone and manner. I mean, what language are we going to use? What way do we best feel it? Are we going to connect with consumers? And within the context of the brand voice, right? It's
kind of decide what, you can't just go with the one that you want to. You have to pick a tone yourself. You can't. You have to.
Well, that's a good question. No, actually, no. I think you get some rare opportunities as a copywriter to help kind of create a brand. I actually got a chance to do that. I worked for Virgin Mobile, and we built a brand from scratch. Yeah. And in that case, we're all right, we're going to come up with a tone and manner. And here's what a Virgin ad would look like. Here's a Virgin ad would sound like. And we created the whole thing. But a lot of times you just come in on a brand, you get hired for a job, and I did for RBC, where they give me a brand guideline and go, okay, this is the way that we speak. These are the words that we use, and these are the words that we don't use. This is an example of a sentence that we might use. This is an example of a headline that we might use, that kind of stuff. And that's pretty common. Most brands have that. And then in an ongoing fashion, the marketing group at RBC or any client will be responsible for deciding, what's on brand and what isn't. So